Yo, what is up guys, it's Ferrer here. Now today I'm going to be talking about giants and how overpowered they can be with a devil fruit. Now with the whole reveal with Elbaf being the strongest country, a lot of people are hyping up Loki to be like Admiral level or even Yonko level, which a lot of people don't actually believe. Now it doesn't have to be Loki, it could be like just the strongest guy in Elbaf at the moment. It could be the king, it could be somebody else, but apart from just having an army of giants, there's got to be a top tier giant in Elbaf as well. Maybe it's the king. I mean, I don't know if there's a king, but there's definitely a top dude in Elbaf who has to be quite strong. But I don't think Oda is gonna troll with Elbaf being the strongest country and all. There might be some factors going into that whole equation there. Even the world government, they're trying to like gigantify humans so they can essentially rule the world. So the world government obviously knows the power Elbaf holds. So that speaks volume by itself. Now as a shonen series, there's a trend of showing things from weakest to strongest. Now so far we've seen every other race with a devil fruit apart from a giant. We have seen the Tontaras or dwarf, Leo, the Minx, Peckhams, and he has a turtle devil fruit. We have long arm tribe, Scratchman-Apu, he has a music devil fruit. Long leg tribe, Tamago, he has the egg fruit, and we have a fisherman devil fruit user, which is Vander Decker and Jack from Kaido's crew. So we've seen all of these races with devil fruits except the giant. Now there was actually a filler that showed a giant with a devil fruit, but it wasn't anything major because they gave her the ability to turn small. I think she had the mini fruit, so I feel like they didn't want to give it away at that point. Also, something I need to mention is that I'm mainly talking about devil fruit abilities that have combat capabilities. So a giant with like Sugar or like Bonnie's devil fruit would be no different than a regular human using it. Any devil fruit with a certain effect wouldn't necessarily be better for a giant. There has to be some physical aspect to that devil fruit for it to be more powerful when a giant is actually using it. Now Gear 3rd is one of Luffy's strongest arsenals, but that form is only the base form of a giant. This is why devil fruit users usually make things bigger with their devil fruit, because bigger things just have bigger impacts. We seen Gear 4, Kids doing the same thing with his devil fruit, Entei, Ace's Entei, Kuzan's pheasant bird, and Akainu's great eruption. Those attacks, they're made bigger because they want to have a bigger effect with their devil fruit. So increasing the size would increase its destructive capability as well. But with that, we can say that size will matter with most devil fruit abilities. In most cases for giants, they can be extremely hacks and mad destructive with a devil fruit. And since giants are like 100 times or like 80 times bigger than a human, that could very well mean that their attacks would be 100 times bigger as well. Now with a Paramecia, again, it really depends on what type of devil fruits we're talking about here. Again, it has to be like it has to be something that is strong in a physical aspect for it to be stronger with a giant. For example, taking Kuma or Luffy's devil fruit, a giant using Gear 3rd or even like Kuma's pad cannons, those attacks are gonna be insanely large and many times more destructive. So if Kuma does like a Urusu shock on a giant level, that's just broken, that's just nasty. I don't want to think about that. So yeah, their area of effect will be probably island level or above. Just thinking about a giant using Kuma's devil fruit is so dirty and broken. So yeah, Paramecias would have a crazy effect. Again, it really depends on what devil fruit. So devil fruits with a certain effect, like Sugar and Bonnie's, those wouldn't work very well with giants. It has to be something that physically enhances you, or not physically enhances you, but it has to like have some like destructive capabilities. Now we take a look at Zoans. I personally think this would be the coolest for giants, not the best, but the coolest. Giants are already known to have massive strength and durability and their massive size, so adding more physical prowess would just be overkill. Like that's too much. So let's imagine like a T-Rex hybrid form. So we're taking X Drake's devil fruit and we're putting it to the size. I mean, if you look at the T-Rex of Drake's devil fruit, right, it's bigger than a human. Like it's way bigger. It's like the size of Kuma, and we take that from in a giant's perspective, it's gonna be bigger than a giant. So Drake's T-Rex Devil Fruit on the Giant is gonna be insanely large. Like, it's too much, it's too broken. So yeah, I can see why people call it the strongest country, even though so far in the series, you know, like, giants have been looked upon as father, you know, stuff like that. The community, I mean, not even the community, you can tell by looking in the manga that giants were nothing special. We just knew they're massive guys. They get fatherized every time. They mostly use them as hype tools. We've seen Bastille, John Giant with Whitebeard, Bastille with Sabo, you know, hype tools at its best. But then again, giants could only be stopped by humans who had devil fruit, or basically top tier fighters with like great haki. Or you don't have to have haki, you have to be like a decent fighter to beat a regular giant, just a base form giant. Now if you look at the Marines and how their system is, you know, the vice admirals, all of the giants in the Marines are all vice admirals. Even Jaguar D Sol, he wasn't that strong, but he's a vice admiral in the Marines, and this is clearly because of their physical capabilities. They might not even have haki. Just having that extra size puts them above anybody else or anything who isn't vice admiral, basically. So no one under a vice admiral can beat a giant. That's basically what it is. They might not even have ornament haki or observation. And on top of that, yeah, like, if these guys have ornament haki again, like on top of a devil fruit, that is too much, man. And if Elbaf is based off Norse mythology, we might get some zones that are symbolic to Norse mythology, like I think Fenrir, which is like the wolf zone, you know, stuff like that, you know, just some mythical creatures in Norse mythology. Animals, like I think there's like a serpent, there's a wolf, there's like a dragon type thing. You know, there might be a lot of zones on Elbaf at that point. Now, another thing I wanted to point out is unrelated, but I think Shanks he's not allied with them, but he's in a good relationship with the giants. And I think Shanks' crew is also based off Norse mythology. And I think his conquest is gonna be something like Thor, you know, some lightning god stuff. But yeah, that's just a side note. Now the last class is Logia. To be honest, all devil classes are all hacks and broken for giants. It doesn't really matter, except the few that I mentioned before. Now Harujin actually mentioned this before, and he said that he wanted to eat a Logia so he could become the king of giants. Again, I don't know if there's currently a king with a devil fruit that he wants to fight against. That's why he wants the Logia Devil Fruit, or there is no king of giants right now, and that spot is like open at the moment. So Harujin is trying to like rule over the other giants by having a Logia Devil Fruit, and obviously becoming the strongest. I'm guessing the strongest person in Elbaf is the king of the giants, because, you know, they had that, you know, mutual fighting spirit thing going on there. Another thing is, since a Logia are known to be the strongest devil fruits, you know, worldwide, they should be the strongest for giants as well. In the case of a giant using a Logia, they would generate 100 times more of their perspective elements and be capable of dishing out the same amount, like a lot more than what a regular person is. And we've seen Logias can dish out a lot. Anno, Akainu, these dudes, they can basically dish out an entire island worth of their element. So that's just crazy on its own. Imagine a giant doing a Akainu's great eruption attack, or even doing Ace's Entei. Yeah, it's broken as hell. And probably down the line during Elbaf, we might see some giants with devil fruit there. And with the whole Norse mythology, we're definitely bound to see some symbolic devil fruits there as well, just like we did in Alabasta with Pel and Chaka, which were like going along with the pharaoh, you know, the Anubis, you know, that type of mythology, you know, Egyptian. So yeah, there's definitely hype on Elbaf. Probably after Wano, we're probably gonna see the arc after Wano. So yeah, definitely some hype there. But yeah, the giants with the devil fruit, and I didn't even talk about Haki, but that I'm going too far with that. This broken, just OP. So yeah, it's Pharaoh, and I will see you guys later. Peace.